Blog Talk Radio.
Hello there, everybody, and welcome to another Soul Sister show this wonderful Thursday with myself, Anoulla, and my co-host, I'm sorry for that, Sue Schumacher. I'm going to laugh now. And today we have Thursday, May 7th, so we are reaching into soon early summer, I hope. But in Sweden here, we consider early summer to be maybe around June. So we are a live call-in show, so call in at 213-943-3587, 213-943-3587. International callers dial +1 before the number and just give us a ring right now and join us and have fun. Ask questions or why not get a free mini reading live on air. And remember to press 1 on the keypad on your device to be placed in queue so that we can see that you want to talk with us live on the show. And I'm Anne, coming to you live from Stockholm, Sweden. And on today's show, we will talk about Soul Realignment. Akashic Records, what are they? Plus your calls for questions and free mini readings live on air. And every first Thursday of the month, we will talk about different topics related to soul realignment. So mark your calendars for each first Thursday. Of course, we want you to listen to all our shows. And we are a live call-in worldwide radio, broadcasting today from Arizona in the U.S. and Stockholm, Sweden. And you can listen live and text chat with us during the shows at scrollsofthesoul.com/live, scrollsofthesoul.com/live. It's all on the same page if you use a computer, but if you use a tablet or a cell phone, you can click the small picture that brings you to another tab where the chat room is. And now is a great time to call us, so give us a ring at 213-943-3587, 213-943-3587. Ask questions or get a free mini reading live on air, or why don't share a spiritual story, your own personal spiritual story with us. If it's related to the Akashic Records, that would be even greater. And give us a ring at 213-943-3587. International callers dial +1 before the number and press 1 if you want to talk with us live on the show. That places you in the queue, so we see that you want to talk with us. And on today's show, as I said, we will talk about soul realignment, Akashic Records, what are they? Plus your calls for questions and mini readings live on air. And every first Thursday of the month, we talk about different topics related to soul realignment. And once again, guys, call in and get your spot in the queue early. Now is a great time to call at 213-943-3587. 213-943-3587. International callers dial +1 before the number and press 1 if you want to talk to us live on the show. And if you haven't listened to us before, we are the show that discusses the Akashic Records, soul realignment, healing modalities in general, and of course, all and any spiritual topics. It's our passion, actually. And we are still proud to announce that we have listeners in 18 countries, so we are really a worldwide radio. And if you want to, you can visit us on YouTube. Just go and search for Scrolls of the Soul Radio directly on YouTube. And if you like us, please subscribe to help you keep yourself updated on upcoming shows. And you can also listen to full past episodes from end of December, I usually say, this year. So it's all in there. And let me bring on my co-host, finally, for Soul Sisters, Sue, all the way from hot Arizona. I know it's hot today. Hi, Sue. How are you?
I'm good, Sissy. How are you? Yeah. Yeah, it's hot, all right.
Yeah, here it's not so hot here. I don't know what we have. Something between 10 and 15 Celsius maybe. So,
right.
Yeah, I'm not sweating.
Yeah,
but it's nice.
We're not quite walking outside into an oven yet, but pretty soon, maybe within the next week, as soon as you open the door to go outside, it'll be like opening an oven door. So we're getting there.
You're getting there. Okay,
Yeah.
As soon as they open up here in the world, I come to you then, or I go to Greece and I bring you to Greece. Okay.
I would say go to Greece. Okay, you have the ocean and the salt water.
Yes, it's really nice. It's very nice actually. Now, everybody listening once again here, now is a great time to call in and get your spot in the queue. Call in at 213-943-3587. 213-943-3587. International callers dial +1 before the number. And please remember to press 1 on the keypad on your device if you want to talk with us live on the show. And if you'd like to connect with me, Anne or Sue, you can find us at scrollsofthesoul.com/Sue and scrollsofthesoul.com/Anne. And as usual, you can just go to scrollsofthesoul.com and find out a lot of things about us. So call in now for questions and free mini readings live on air. Get your spot in the queue, 213-943-3587. 213-943-3587. If you're an international caller, you dial +1 before the number. And if you want to talk with us live on the show, press 1. And before we move on with today's show, I know that my beautiful sissy wants to recap what last show was all about.
Last show we had a guest on. Like we try to do the end of the month every month. And last week was Patricia Lee Zimmerman. And she has a book called 12 Guaranteed Ways to Be Free. Or did I get that right? Or am I reading the wrong area?
Yes, no.
Yeah. Her book is, it's quite interesting because she gets to the root of what causes us to be become our own self-destructive people sometimes and not really understand some of the things we're doing. And she really is very precise in her.
She's very precise.
Yeah, and in her 12 steps and how she breaks it down. It was quite an interesting topic, and we weren't able to get through all 12, of course, but I think in the future we may bring her back on to kind of dig a little bit deeper into some more aspects of the book. One of the first ones I enjoyed was Be Selfish with a capital S. I found that to be interesting, only in the sense that, have you ever heard anyone ever in your time growing up tell you that you needed to be selfish? So that statement is an interesting statement. But I think
Yeah, it is.
I think when you read it, what she means by that, you start to understand that, of course, you have to first go within and do the things you need to do to be a better person, because you there's no way you can do something for others if you don't first take care of you. And she really emphasizes that with number one, the be selfish with a capital S. And
Yes.
it's almost, I look at it more as like a self-help book. So I think we'll probably end up having her back on in the near future. It was an interesting topic to talk about. So, anyways, I digress. And if you have not called in, you can call us at 213-943-3587. If you want me to see you, to take your call, press 1 so I can see you on the board. That lets me know you want me to pick up. So, Sissy, today's topic.
Yes. Yes.
The Akashic Records. As you've said before, we always try to take a little snippet from the Akashic Records the first of every month and try to bring this down to more of an explanation that's understandable to everyone. And so we chose to kind of delve into, what exactly are the records. And I know in the past we've kind of touched this before, but we don't mind going over it again because a lot of people don't understand what it is or where it comes from. So, the Akashic Records are comprised of all human events, thoughts, words, emotions, intent, ever to have occurred in the past, present, or future.
Yes.
They're believed to be encoded in a non-physical plane of existence known as the etheric plane, which I think everybody pretty much understands what that means.
I can add something there, Sissy. It's actually, we are living in the third dimension here. The fourth dimension are when we develop a little bit more and come a little bit closer. And that's the fourth dimension is not as the fifth dimension. The fifth dimension are all about information. And you are, if you are a seeker, that's most likely that you are in the fifth dimension. And that's exactly where the Akashic Records is. So that's where you get the information.
Right. I kind of, it dawned on me too as you were saying that. We, part of our topic last week or the week before was about lifting the veil, right? And in that sense, when you're moving through the third into the fourth, that's kind of what you can imagine that to be. So the awareness starts to become more prevalent as you kind of move in or step into that. So I find it kind of interesting too. I in that sense. Anyways,
I have to tell you that I think that most of our audience and listeners are most likely in the fifth dimension because when you are a seeker, when you search for things, you are in the information field, the vibration of information, right? So most are. Yeah.
Right. Well, with world events that have been occurring, you're starting to notice that more and more people are kind of coming into the great awakening, so to speak, and starting to see a lot more than they had ever seen before. And, it's not just here in the States, it's not just there in Sweden, it's all around the world. And if you even, are near the internet, I think it's becoming pretty prevalent to a lot of us. With that being said, I'm just going to kind of quickly say something for our audience, not to veer
before
off
I
too
interrupt
much
you.
Not to veer off too much.
I'm teasing you.
Thanks, as usual. just to touch really quick on that topic of what is going on around the world. Here in the States for us, I just want to express to everyone, don't forget that we here in the States, we have rights. We live in a constitutional republic, a representative republic. And, there's a lot of visuals where we see, not some, some, I'm trying to be delicate in how I term this, events that go against our Constitution. And I just want to remind everyone, learn your rights, learn what the Constitution is about, and understand that, yes, while we have this pandemic, it doesn't negate our own rights here in the United States. It doesn't take them away. And sometimes we need to understand what those rights are and what it means, as a collective. So that's just my little 2 cents on this pandemic. I'll move back into...
I also want to mention something, because sometimes people say that, okay, but how can these things happen when we are trying to reach the light and we're trying to do everything right and all of that stuff? And since we are all one, we are all connected, but we also are, many people still see themselves as separated, right? So we cannot really control, as the souls and human beings we are. We can't control what others are going to do, actually, but we can radiate our own light and love. And I think that's most important right now, because we are all co-creators in that sense. So if we listen too much to what's going on, of course, we need to stay updated and need to understand, but there's a lot of false information and fake news, and there's a lot of things that certain countries or certain media or whatever, they want to give us a picture and telling us that this is what's going on, and that we need to be a little bit on top of things, feel good about it, and also make some logical thinking sometimes along with our gut feeling, because when we read something, we just have a feeling sometimes. We just know. I've been there so many times. We just know that there's something wrong here. But sometimes we can't put our fingers on it, but it will be revealed eventually. Anyway,
right.
So...
Well, I agree. You can't, what you see, a snippet of something, for instance, on the news, really, it's what, if you understand that you're, something doesn't feel right, it hasn't felt right, and through many media outlets who are all saying the same thing, a kind of a huge indicator that, what you're seeing is only a very small piece or a piece of information that those in that arena want you to know. And for Anna and myself, we go further than that. We would prefer to seek out the information ourselves and validate or invalidate what it is that's being put out in the public. So I think, in general, with world events...
Sissy, you're cutting out a little bit.
Okay, give
me
a
why.
second to fix that.
Okay.
Do you hear me now? Does it sound any better?
Yeah, I hear you better. Yes, that's better.
Sorry about that. Just a final note. Don't take one thing at face value. It's intuitively this doesn't seem right.
You're still cutting off and on. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's okay. I'm actually trying to fix the mic, see if that'll help. How's that?
I think that's better.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry about that.
No, okay.
Bottom line is just follow what you feel, follow your intuition, and know that you may have to seek out many platforms for information. So that's kind of Anne and my 2 cents, so to speak, on this pandemic.
Yes. And I also want to mention something. I know we are a spiritual show and we're supposed to talk about the Akashic Records, but everything is kind of connected anyway because we are here, we are living in this world, so it's equally spiritual to deal with this world too. But we found many times that the information that I'm giving here through my media and stuff are not the same as Sue is getting. So there's a difference, and that's kind of interesting to see. It's intriguing. It makes you wonder. It makes you want to see some more things.
Well, I think, okay, all right. So set aside just a little bit of this conversation with the Akashic Records. I have to respond to that.
Yes.
You're correct. And I think because of the internet, we've all become much more connected. And the interesting part is about shutting out true information per the country you live in. And I think a lot of us aren't buying it anymore because we are connected. We are able to see those across the world. And we're finding out things that are being said even here in the States may not be said in Sweden and vice versa. So if Anne and I are seeing that those types of things are happening between us, I'm pretty sure it's happening everywhere. We're being told, what they want you to know, rather than what may really be going on.
Yeah, and sometimes you can collect and read 10 different versions of the same thing, the same matter, and then you will get it in some time because it's going to show off. So that's a way of staying a little bit more aware, but just be open-minded and don't be afraid. Don't give in to fear. That's very important. I know it's easy to say, but that's the best thing we can do, and keep radiating the light we have in the world.
Yeah, and discernment. I think discernment is really big right now. You really need to discern the things you're seeing. So when you're seeing things that might feel uncomfortable, research it a little more. Look not just locally, look worldwide. See if the information you're getting is correct. Because right now, it's kind of hard to tell in a lot of aspects with every news channel all spouting the same thing, all saying the same thing.
Yeah.
To me, that is
yes. And I know that we got our share in Sweden. What we are doing, we are not doing basically anything. We're not protecting ourselves. Our government is not doing anything. So we are in great danger. And I can just say that it's not true. It's not true.
Right. All right. It's interesting because it's interesting how here, some outlets, how they're portraying Sweden here, and other platforms are speaking about Sweden in a positive light. So, which I tend to agree. I think you guys and the way you handled it is magnificent. Your rights weren't taken away from you. Government, big government didn't try to come after you guys. They said, the people have rights, and we're going to respect those rights. So I think Sweden has done an amazing job as far as
actually, I have to say that I'm impressed too, because that's not my view, because my country changed over the last 20 years, very much so. Of course, I know that I've been living in Greece and I'm going back and forth, but I can't really recognize my country. But that warmed my heart, because they said they couldn't put the whole country in quarantine because of it. We have a different name of it, a different wording, but it basically is the Constitution they did refer to.
Right.
So,
right. It's the right of the people.
To Sweden for that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm very proud of Sweden for that. Very proud of you guys, because that was so unexpected, that your government would take a stand for its people and say no. No, we're not going to do this to our people. We have a document, we have rights, and we're not going to override those rights. I was just as proud of Sweden as you. So we really got off topic today, didn't we?
I think we did, but it's a special time. And if you look at it on the positive side, I always see something positive in everything. You know, I feel a little bit honored to be sitting here, being able to watch what's going on, because my sense is that all the dirt we have on this earth is coming up to the surface. And in that sense, it's uncomfortable. Of course it is. It doesn't feel good at all. But in my spiritual sense, as I'm seeing it, that's a blessing, because we can't get rid of dirty things and negative things if they are not coming up to surface. So
right, they have to surface to the top. And I think for nations and people all around the world to understand things that, you know, they might not be so nice and or pretty or wrapped in a bow, I think they need to be brought to the surface, because you have to shine a light on it. I think that's, you know, in order for change to truly occur, a light has to be shown.
Yes.
So,
yes.
All right. So, do we have anybody who has a question, by the way?
Yes, we have Lil Fairy in the chat room. Hi, Lil Fairy. I know you can hear us. So, Lil Fairy is asking, hello, I put my photos of my missing cat in local groups and have been repeating there is always divine harmony. I'd like to ask if you feel he's close, please. Thank you. Okay. Going to see where I can get around this.
Okay. I quite honestly, you know, the only thing that I get a sense of with this, and we had discussed this last week, was that the animal is in somebody else's custody, so to speak. I'm trying to actually see if I can get a visual. However, I don't get a distance, you know, a measure as far as where, in proximity to Little Fairy.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's a tough one. That's a really tough one. All you can do is keep doing what you're doing, and hopefully someone will come forward to state that they've seen this animal.
Yeah. I have a short story to tell. I've had many cats in my lifetime, but one of my first cats, she was never going out without me, and she was not used to going out, but she jumped out. I was living on the first floor. It's not like a balcony, but it's a balcony door. So it's a French window, I suppose you say in English. And the cat just jumped out. It was not very high up from the ground. And because she was not used to be outside, I searched her for more than 2 months, I think. And I did everything. And all of a sudden, one late evening, she was just sitting outside and waiting for me. So, and it took some time for her to feel comfortable again. But she was okay. She was very well. What I'm seeing and sensing with this cat is that, just like you said, Sue, there's someone who had taken care of the cat. Mm-hmm. And I think that they understand that someone is searching for him, but I think it's a little bit maybe far away. I don't know if I'm correct or not, so please take the number with distance a little bit plus and minus. But I keep hearing 8. That could be 8 kilometers. I don't know in the measures in the U.S. But I feel, of course, I'm seeing also that this is, and I'm sensing it too, and that's also logical. This is actually very sad for you, Lil Fairy, and I do understand, but don't give up. I have a feeling that you will find the cat. I can't tell you right now how the cat is coming along. But I think, if I'm correct, what I'm sensing, I think it's a man who actually took care of the cat. And this man feels to be under 40, so around 30, I would say. He feels like a young person, and he feels to love cats. So I also sense, I think I wrote that in the chat room, that I feel a lot of calm around your cat. I would say that it can take, I'm not shown any kind of timeline or anything like that, but I keep seeing the 8 again. So that could be 8 days, 8 weeks, a month of 8. But
Right.
I think the month of 8, that's August, and that's a very long time from now. So I wouldn't say August. But keep on searching and keep on putting up those posters, because it only needs to be seen by one person,
Right.
who actually had the cat. So
Yeah.
I hope,
Yeah.
I really hope, yes.
I was just going to say, you said 8, and I get 1.7. 1.7 miles is what I keep seeing.
Okay.
1.7 miles. I don't know what that is in kilometer, but that's what I keep seeing.
Okay.
Yeah, all you can continue, ask people too. Ask people in your neighborhood.
Yeah.
If they've seen the animal. But I will definitely confirm, like Anne, that this is someone who is taking care of this animal. So don't lose hope yet. Don't lose hope.
No, and Lil Fairy is saying, I hope that the person who is taking care of him lets him go. And I feel that he will. That's what I'm sensing. And Lil Fairy says, I will keep praying and hope he comes back. Thank you so much. Yes, thank you so much. And keep repeating, because sometimes some things need some time, and we tend to give up before we supposed to, kind of thing. So just keep repeating. There is always divine harmony. And just envision yourself taking him in your arms and hugging him like you usually do, okay?
Yeah.
Thank you, Little Fairy. Thank you.
Thank you, Little Fairy. Sissy, I believe we're right at the bottom of the hour. If you just want to take a quick break and speak about what we normally do at the bottom of the hour.
Yeah, it's my time.
Yes.
I'm always kidding about that. Yay. So everybody, if you haven't called in yet, now is a great time to get your spot in the queue. Call in at 213-943-3587. 213-943-3587. International callers dial +1 213-943-3587. And if you want to talk with us live on the show, press 1. And pressing 1 will also put you in the queue. And on today's show, we talked about Soul Realignment and Akashic Records. What are they? That's basically what we're supposed to talk about, and we will continue with that. We went a little bit out of topic, so I hope you have patience with us for that one. But it's a special time, basically so. And, of course, as usual, we take your calls for questions and free mini readings live on air. So call in at 213-943-3587. 213-943-3587. International callers dial +1 before the number, and to get your spot in the queue and talk to us live on the show, press 1. And sorry for that. Every first Thursday of the month, of each month, we are talking about soul realignment and topics that are related somehow to soul realignment. So that's one of our passions. And if you'd like to connect with me, Anne, or Sue, you can find us at scrollsofthesoul.com/Sue, or scrollsofthesoul.com/N. And you can always listen live and text chat with us during the shows at scrollsofthesoul.com/live. Scrollsofthesoul.com/live. We also take questions and give you free mini reads in the chat room if you wish to do that. So that's okay too. Very welcome. And our next upcoming show here on Scrolls of the Soul Radio is Thursday, May 14th, next Thursday, with Soul Sister Show, and we will talk about the vibration of laughter and the positive benefits to it. So that's a really wonderful topic because we take that for granted sometimes, but we can change our vibration and our energy with small things, actually. So it doesn't take more than sometimes 5 minutes or a minute or 30 seconds to change it. So tune in with us next Thursday. And we take your calls for questions and free mini readings live on air. We will be on same time as usual, 10 a.m. Pacific in the U.S., 6 p.m. London, 7 p.m. Sweden, and 8 p.m. Greece in Europe. You can always keep yourself updated on our shows at scrollsofthesoul.com/upcoming. scrollsofthesoul.com/upcoming. And you can listen live and text chat with us at scrollsofthesoul.com/live. If you haven't called in yet, now is the time to call in at 213-943-3587. 213-943-3587. International callers dial +1 before the number, and if you want to talk with us live on the show and get yourself in the queue to talk with us, press 1. That's very important. And you can visit us on YouTube. Just search for Scrolls of the Soul Radio directly on YouTube. And please, if you like us, subscribe. And that helps you to keep yourself updated on upcoming shows, and you can listen to full past episodes. And I think I'm ready to go back to the topic.
I want to say something, too, about the YouTube channel. Not only subscribing, but, it would be much appreciated if it was shared as well, because there is an area to share. And, like Ann said, both upcoming and past episodes are there. And we would really appreciate it if you shared our episodes as well. It's another avenue for us to get our content out there, not just through the website, but through YouTube. So please consider sharing as well. All right, Sissy.
Thank you.
So I'm going to proceed with some information on the Akashic Records. The Akashic Records are an energetic database that stores all the information about all choices that were ever made. They contain a vast amount of information. And, we've said this before, too. I don't think we could imagine truly what this contains, how massive it is. So I have always said that for me, this is more like an etheric library, one that just never stops being built, so to speak. It's this massive place that stores everything as who we are, our past, present, future, decisions that have been made, events, anything and everything you could possibly think of is in that library. And part of the soul realignment aspect would be for us to go into that etheric library with very precise techniques to research and investigate the information needed as part of it is so, I'm trying to think of the best way to put it. It is so vast and it's so full of that person's his soul's history, that I don't even think the percentage that we would touch for a client would be even 1%. I think the percentage would just be so small as far as what we can gather. And I know 1% sounds small.
Yeah.
But if in your mind you were to think of every decision you ever made, you can't. It's impossible. It's impossible to think about everything you've ever made. Well, that information is stored. That's, every event ever that you that has ever occurred, or that things that were spoken, actions taken, people in our lives. This is how vast it is. So we have a set of protocols that we use to gather that information, and that's why I say I don't even think it's 1%. If I was looking on a scale between 1 and 100, So that's just my visual mind point of view when going into the records.
Yeah. I have to tell you something too. And sometimes people, I've had that question coming to me. People say that, okay, if there's an Akashic record and all information is stored about me, what about the things that I made wrong? Are they going to be there forever? And then that can kind of come up as a fear. But basically, there are so many ways of talking about karma or choices and consequences. And you can always, if you're conscious about something for yourself, you can always change that with a new choice. So there's no punishment whatsoever. There's no judgment or nothing. But it's just something that tells you that this is something you need to understand for yourself and to work on. And with this also, a choice that is good for someone or is the right choice for someone may not necessarily be the right one for you. That's important to know, right?
Right. But I think that is also kind of fear-based and fear-driven. Just because it's the unknown, and it might push up against maybe a religious belief. Not to go off too far here, but I think because there isn't a complete understanding of what it is, and like you said, there's no judgment in that.
No, never.
And so I don't even know if the word wrong would be correct. I think it's the positive and negatives, and in which manner are they going to affect you? And with the records, it's about what the soul's history is, and within that, there would be things such as decisions you may have made in a past life that come in today, and those decisions could be something as simple as a vow that was taken, and not realizing that many lifetimes ago that vow was taken, and in your life today, you're trying to understand why is it, for instance, relationships never seem to work out, and that's just very one small aspect of what I'm trying to get to, but it is about the choices that the soul had made over many lifetimes. And for us, when we come in, there is a clearing that can occur, and that's a huge thing.
And,
Go ahead, Anne.
And I also wanted to tell you that we shouldn't actually judge ourselves either, because we do the best choices and the best out of situations from the circumstance we find ourselves in. So if no matter how much we try to understand things, sometimes we don't, and it's more easy to see someone else, right? And if we think of the history of humankind, now the world is very open and we can exchange information with each other that makes us maybe grow a little bit faster because we can see things from many different angles. But on the other hand, if you take 100 years ago, and if I would have been doing that, made a wow to someone, I did that out of what I was taught that was appropriate and maybe the right thing to do at that time. So it's very important not to judge.
Right. Okay, so moving through some of this aspect or this part of the conversation when it comes to the records. The Akashic Record is derived from Sanskrit with the word Akasha meaning ether, and in Hindi, Akash means sky or heaven. Rather than thinking of the records as a single place, like we were talking about before, they're often linked to a library, like I said. Imagine that. It's like an etheric information superhighway, which I always loved that concept. Pretty much the analogy of the internet,
Yes.
And the World Wide Web. I think that's the best way to kind of imagine it. Me, I more see it as a physical place, one location I could go into and grab something out. But that concept or that analogy of it being, the internet and the World Wide Web, I think better describes what we're talking about. And remembering that dimensions become less dense the higher they are. And there is less density. There is also less separation between us as individual souls. The fifth dimension is the lowest dimension, which I thought, I thought it went lower than that, but apparently not. So the fifth dimension is lower dimension by which we can access soul level information about each other because of the lack of separation at the dimensional level in our existence. So that's kind of intriguing too. And since we have evolved our consciousness in the fifth dimension vibration, the vibration rate, we can access that dimension consciously while we're incarnated. So, it's quite interesting. There's so much so much involved, so much vast info. But anyways, sorry about that, Sissy. I had a couple things running through my head as I was thinking about that. The fifth dimension. There's no time in the fifth dimension. We look up as Soul's Divine Soul Blueprint as its origination, which is when it was first created by Divine Source. Now, just the statement alone, Divine Source, others would look at that meaning, God, a higher being. I think that term, Divine Source, is ultimately, for those in the religious aspect, would be God. We gather information about the Divine Soul Blueprint before any negative choices were made, which, again, when we talk about negative and positive choices, those choices are equal. They may not feel equal at the time that, something may be happening in your life, but they are completely the same, negative and positive.
Yeah, they are. They are.
And the blueprint, the Divine Soul Blueprint, what is your thought on that? Trying to think how I want to word that. What is your thought on that word, Divine Soul Blueprint? Meaning, was that when your soul was first created, right? So there are certain parameters, right? There are certain aspects to us that probably never change due to the blueprint, right?
Because I think I can try to explain that if I hope people understand what I'm saying. Sometimes I have the tendency of talking too much. But anyway, as a Divine Soul Blueprint, that is what you are, each one of us are created of, right?
Right.
So there are many different energies, and we can call them different things, but they are all labels of an energetic statement, so to speak. So what makes us unique are that we have different combinations of those particular energies. That's a way of putting it. And that's why something that is in alignment with my soul, and I choose that, and I can move forward very well with that choice. If you make the same, you may have a very different combination, and your energetic soul blueprint and your energetic statement that you are created of are a little bit different. So that may not be the right choice for you, and you could possibly see that if you try to walk that path, that you will encounter blockages because it's not in alignment with who you are. And sometimes we can do the same thing, we can have the same goal, but how we approach that goal, because of our divine soul blueprint and how our energies are combined, we have different ways that makes us more successful, so we don't have to struggle. And that is the beauty also. So if you are in alignment with your divine soul blueprint and you are using that to your advantage, that it doesn't mean that everything will be nice and loving and happy every day, because we are not by ourselves in this world, right? So we are here to experience, but it means that it's easier, life will flow easier, and you follow your guidance. And sometimes when we do this means that we need to step out of conventions, out of a way to see things that we have been taught, out of the way making things happen, out of expectations from others that tells us this is how you should do that. You can't go the other way. You can't do it like that. You have to do it this. This is how everybody's doing it. And I sense that, when we walk this path, I try to avoid things. It gets me going when someone says, this is how everybody does it, because that's a keyword for me, telling me that, okay, no, I need to find my way. And the thing with your divine soul blueprint is that it helps you to understand how your foundation is. That's your divine soul blueprints are what you were created with before you were out there to make any choices or do anything that could create some blockages or whatever for you. So that's beautiful. But sometimes people say that, oh, but maybe I've done so many things and this is, and there's karma, and I'm coming back as a germ next time, or a fly or whatever, because I've done so many bad things. But that's judgment, okay? Because
right.
Like Sue said, everything, positive and negative, are two polarities of the same energy.
Right.
If you
I know it's hard.
That.
That's hard to imagine, that, especially when we compare, automatically the brain says when you compare, the energy of something negative, it feels like it feels like you put in a lot more into something, right?
Yeah.
When it's negative. But it's the same energy you put in when it's something positive. So the polarities are equal. It's just they don't feel emotionally equal, so to speak, right?
No, they don't. But
yeah,
when one gets aware and when one understands that it's the same energy but different polarities, that specific energy, if you work with it, you can understand things about yourself. It's coming up to the surface, right? And you make it work until you reach the other end where you want to be, because that feels more comfortable.
Yeah. There's so many aspects here we can go. So, we try to condense some of it just due to time restrictions. I am going to, however, grab a call. So are you ready for a call, Sissy?
Absolutely. I've been waiting for it.
Okay. Hold on. Hello, caller.
Hi,
What's your name?
sisters.
Hi.
Hi,
Who's
this is
this?
Melissa.
Melissa. Hi. How are you?
Hi, Melissa. How are you?
Oh, hi. I'm doing great. I'm glad I got in. I didn't speak to y'all for the last 2 weeks, and I do listen to the show on the archives. Y'all are really astonishing teachers, and but I'm glad you got my call, and I'm happy to call. And you're right about the negative. We think about it, it does attract because I'm guilty of that. I'm not perfect,
We
but
all are.
I do have it's true. Oh my God. God forgive me. I have a question, pretty please. So last time that we talked, or give me an update. It's happening. It happened. Just I don't know. It was in Alaska Records, like y'all stated. I mean, but now it happened. I just want to know. Wow, I thought about y'all, and I have, and so it did happen. And right now, the what I want to tell you is, I am not sure, but I do have a feeling that I think the owners are going to take that lady into court. I'm not
really?
sure, but I'm not 100% sure. She has, oh my gosh, ladies, there's a lot of people there, and she has like so much lies. She says the other lies cover this lie, this lie. Oh, she's very bad.
Yeah, I know. I know. We know. We know. And remember I said to you, it's the public, because we don't necessarily know in what context you're speaking, whether this is an apartment complex, a business, and we're not asking that. What I see, however, and I've been seeing this whole time, is that it's going to be those in the public that are going to help drive this and bring this information forward. I kept seeing that early on. So whatever is going on, right, it's going to be driven publicly. It's going to come out, whether it be in the court system, like you say, and it'll be documented through the courts. It will, I agree, it's not a nice energy she has. I totally agree with that. But I really do believe that the things that you're hoping are going to surface, they are through those in the public arena. It's one that this whole time we've been talking to, Melissa, that's been consistent. I hope that makes sense.
Yes.
Let me see if Anne is there anything she could add to that? Anything you could add on?
Hi, Melissa. This is Anne. I don't think I can add so much. I just have the same sense that Sue has. But I'm being shown here. So just remember this when things seem weird and rocky and things you don't really know what's going to be. I'm shown that there are many opportunities going on within this question of yours. So it's not. Keep in mind what we talked about before. Keep in mind what we said, that an energy of something has two polarities, right? So there are always good and bad things involved as we consider them good and bad, because that's how we label things, right? So just when you become aware of something that you feel this doesn't feel so good, or this is what I want for, focus on where your goal is and where you want it to go, okay? I'm shown that there will be a sense of, no matter how rocky and how difficult and challenging this may feel right now, I'm shown that there will come a time soon when things will feel more peaceful and more calm. And I also see a lot of work here going on. And then I'm shown the Empress, and the Empress, for me, she stands for very good things, fruitful things for the future. So you hold your vision about how things should come about. I don't know if that makes sense to you. Melissa?
Melissa?
Yes, it makes sense. I was in deep thought. I was focused on that, and
Remember,
I'm glad for. Yes.
Remember one thing too. Sorry, because this is another thing that repeatedly comes in when we talk to you about this. Is be the observer. Don't step in it. Don't, because it's also very drama driven. There's a lot of drama here. So don't you step into it, okay? Because then you won't be able to see things clearly. So observe. And I know it's hard. Sometimes we want to step in and put our 2 cents in. But I'm telling you, it's like you're don't participate in the movie. Be the audience. Be in the audience. Just watching all the events occurring. Okay? Because you have some type of advantage point here where you can kind of just keep quiet, not speak a lot about it, and observe. And things will come about, and probably in ways you weren't expecting, but things will evolve here. And like I said, I keep going back to this public thing, something about many people, the public. This way you're not stepping in the drama of it all. I know you want to know. There's things you want to know, right? But you don't need to, because the answer's going to come at you as the person who's observing. You're actually going to start to see the unfolding of events. Kind of like watching a movie from beginning, middle, and end. It's going to play itself out. And,
oh, wow.
And I think, you'll probably be pleasantly surprised. But definitely, just keep yourself away as much as you can, so you're not stepping into that energy, which is kind of drama-based energy. It's not always easy because people try to pull you in to drama, but just be the observer, and things will evolve as they should.
Yes.
As you would hope they will. How's that?
Interesting.
Does that make sense?
Yes, I am going to record that in my brain. I'm going to think of it being like an alligator, so I can be observer. That's something to think about it. Do you think it's good, an analogy?
Yeah. Whatever works for you. I just, there's a whole bunch of things connected to this. There's a lot of dynamic here, and I remember early on when you first called that, we weren't even in this part of the conversation. There was whole other aspects that you were asking about. So there's kind of like this evolution I've seen happening, and I'm just asking for a little bit of patience on your side, just sitting there in the movie theater, watching as the events unfold in front of you. And I think the way the ending comes, be what you hoped it would be. With a little bit of twists and turns along the way. I guess that's the best way I can put that. And then when it's all done, okay, when it's all finished, Melissa, then let us know exactly what it is.
Okay, I will. Go ahead.
We see and hear, but it doesn't always make sense to us. It makes sense to you, So since you call every week, I'm like, okay, now I really want to know what's going on with Melissa.
I'm curious too, very.
But I don't want any information at all right now. Don't say a word to us right now. Just when things come to a place where you could find space, let us know. I'd be curious. You're really curious. So does that help? Does any of that help?
A lot of it has helped me. Call me. I'm gonna let y'all know. And I know y'all know, but I'm gonna let you know my human experience, and I will be an observer like an alligator. And God is good.
Yes.
And
Yes.
Yes, he is.
I'm happy to hear. And it was a pleasure talking to y'all. Thank you for assisting
Oh,
me.
thank you. Thank you, and trusting, your questions to us. We really appreciate that. We're always honored by that. So, and you're in our heart.
Yes,
okay.
Very much so.
All right.
Thank you so much,
All right,
Melissa. Thank you.
Take care.
Love
We'll
and light.
talk soon. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
All right. Let me see. I think we have time for another call. Give me a second to see.
Yes. Go for it.
Hello. What's your name?
Hi.
And where are you calling from?
Hi, I'm Lily, and I'm calling from California.
Hi, Lily.
Hi,
How's
Lily.
it going over there in Cali?
Oh, being a nurse.
Oh, boy.
Oh. Yes.
I'm not an essential. I'm a sacrificial.
Oh, no. Really?
No, I've actually been very blessed. My husband is also an essential in the school district, and we are, I look around, and he is taking such great care of us. My son and I have already had the COVID. I'm just getting my taste back after 6 weeks.
Wow.
Not my smell yet. But
Right.
unless you're putting rotten milk under my nose, I'm okay.
Right. Now, how did you get it?
so,
How'd you end up getting the COVID?
I'm a private nurse, so I
Right.
believe one of the families had given it to me. But let's go back, if I have just a moment before I ask my question. If you go back at least till November, I could tell you cases
Yep.
that people had this long before the holidays. And I mean,
agree.
I can almost pinpoint it to the day that I noticed it the first time in one of my patients. And then my nephew, here's the deal. My nephew went to the hospital every time he had this respiratory infection, and he kept getting progressively worse. Well, my son, the week before me in March, had gotten, and it was right at the cusp when they were going to shut the nation down, the world down. And he was tested, and they kept saying, well, it's the flu. It's just nothing that we can test for. And, being the nurse, I'm looking at the counterpart here, and I'm like, what are you talking about? And he kept winking at me like, it's not that flu. And then the following week, the week before my anniversary, the day before my anniversary, I woke up coughing like there was glass in my lungs, and I progressed. But the difference was my son and I kept us home. We had steam. I'd lock our bathrooms. We each have a bathroom. I locked our bathrooms so that we would steam. Every time we had a coughing fit, we'd steam.
Yeah.
I upped vitamin D and vitamin C, and we ate nothing but liquids, warm liquids. Unfortunately, because in the area I live in near Big Sur, the weather changes dramatically with the wind, the ocean and the wind. So every time that wind and the temperature would drop, it would it would cause an inflammation and a reaction to that. So I believe, got over it a lot faster than all those other people who went in after me. And when I did go to get tested, they wanted to hospitalize me. And I actually had to fight them and say, you either swab me, you do not put me in this hospital, because I guarantee you none of your staff have been tested. And the doctors were all looking at me. I said, it's called AMA. I'll AMA myself out of here. But since I didn't sign any registration papers, I'm out of there. So I escaped.
Good.
Do you feel that they would have tried to put you on a respirator?
Yes, they would have, because of the way my lungs were going. But I kept giving myself my own treatment with eucalyptus oil and steam baths. And even though our water bill was a little higher than normal, it was a lot less than what a hospital treatment would have been. And
Right.
this is coming from a nurse, ladies and gentlemen.
So, were you able to get the hydroxychloroquine or no?
I never, you know what? Here's the deal, ladies and gentlemen. You don't want to take any medications that is absolutely been tested in a double-blind test. You do not want a vaccination that has been. Well,
Oh no.
I am not taking any vaccines, until like 2 years from now when they've had time to test it all. I'm not going for this gimme quick stuff. When I have underlying conditions, and that was another reason why they wanted to hospitalize me. But I know traditional Chinese medicine. I've been educated in Reiki and with my martial arts. And there was no way.
Right.
There was no way that.
Well, it wasn't the vaccine I was talking about. I was just asking about the chloroquine and the erythromycin, because that common, of course, in California, they're not letting do that. But there have been many of tests around the country using that.
Right.
You know, and that goes back 50 years, anyways, with the hydroxychloroquine.
I actually,
the use of
because
that.
I've traveled the world at least 3 times. I thought because I've been vaccinated for everything under the sun, being a military brat, that
Yeah.
But it turns out I can go forever on this. This is a whole nother show. But the reason I'm calling is a little bit of my past, and not the good parts, are coming back to resurface. And I know I'm feeling different vibes, especially with the moon exposing life. But I just would really love. I feel like I've survived my past. I've learned from my past. Why is it coming up, and should I even give it a second thought about my future?
Okay.
My
that's
past
interesting.
is coming up. Should I give it a second thought about my future? Go ahead, Ann. Sorry.
That's okay. Hi, Lily. This is Anne. My first thing that came to me, you know what? I very often say that when we are in a time of transformation, which I feel that you are transforming right now.
Yes.
And
I'm about to be an empty nester.
Yes. And that means that many things will come up. So even if we think we are ready with something, it doesn't mean that we are not ready. It just means that it's coming up to surface because you may have a small stain in something you have been going through, right? Or it's just wanting to show itself and it's coming to you so you can say one more time, okay, no, I'm not going to do that. Because as I'm seeing it, we are here to experience ourselves. And that's why things can feel difficult and harsh sometimes. But if we are just persistent and move on, and in the time of transformation, everything comes up to the surface. So you can say that the world is kind of in transformation too, but it feels very uncomfortable. Of course it does. And it's very weird. We're sitting here and we're watching things that we couldn't imagine we would ever see in our lifetime.
Right.
But on the other hand,
right.
if you look at it on the positive side of the same energy, that means that things will pop up. So it's basically kind of a period for you when you are transforming and changing, shedding skin a little bit, if that makes sense. So just keep those things that you want to have in your life and just say no once again to those things. Don't pay too much attention to them, because that's when you're going to take a step back and go back into that kind of thing, a matter that used to bother you. So it's just there to show you, nothing more. Don't be afraid of it. I don't know if this makes sense to you.
Oh, well, first off, the snake in the Chinese horoscope is mine, and so I get the changing skin part. Then as far as just, a school bill that came in from 10 years ago showed up at my doorstep, and I'm like, what the heck is this? And nobody can give me a direct answer. Plus an ex-boyfriend who was very abusive and raped me. Apparently he's having financial troubles, and he gave them my phone number. And No, he was narcissistic, and like I said, I met the man of my dreams. I manifested him. And
you did.
And he's everything I could ever ask for as a partner and friend, and I don't know if you can call it twin flame, but I definitely heard his ancestors say, give him a chance, and I stuck around, and I can never be this happy. I would have never dreamt of being this happy.
Oh, nice.
I'm keeping
Yes.
keeping my positiveness, and I'm not going to dwell on the dilemmas of these little hiccups. And if I give no energy to them, do you honestly feel they'll go away?
Well, some things I'm going to chime in here. Let me chime in real quick.
I'm not ready. Can I just say something? Things that are going on, sometimes we need, if they send something to you, you may have to answer that, because it's not going to disappear just like that, but it's going to be good for you. So what I meant by that, don't pay too much attention to the past. These are just signs for you that you did the right thing, and you know that you did the right thing, and now you have a partner that are in alignment with you, right? It's just things from the past coming, but you may need to send them a letter or saying no to them or call them or whatever, something that will clear the whole thing out. Yes, Sissy, now it's your turn. I'm sorry.
No, you already took over exactly what I was going to say, basically, because some things, while the past is coming up in your life, there are some, I want to say legal, but it's not legal. Some things we just have to finish out. And close off and close out, and you will. So, and that's the bottom line. That will get handled and taken care of. I do want you to know it may take a little bit longer, just due to the events that's gone on, not only here in the States but around the world. So, what would have been a quick phone call or a letter or two may take just a little bit longer. But it will. It's not something you need to put a lot of energy into. Don't worry about it. You'll handle what you need to handle, and it will ultimately be taken care of within a very reasonable amount of time. Okay?
I have something else to say. Boy, I'm talking much today, right? It just came something to me right now, because just have a look at what other things occurred in your life at that specific time where this is stemming from the beginning, the origin of this matter, if that makes sense. So what else was going on? Is there anything else you need to just release? It can be mentally, emotionally, or in the real physical world. Is there anything that's connected to this, that something that upset you, felt harsh or felt disturbing in any way? Does that make sense to you?
I believe it does, because my son is graduating, and if you can call it graduating, he's getting his diploma next week, and from high school. So with his father, those legal issues, those responsibilities, those expectations of what everybody thought of me are basically going away, because I can close that chapter, and my son is, he is one of the most caring, loving, intelligent people, and he made it through some very adverse times, and I give him kudos for the strength that he showed. But he also, I believe, sees what his father has done to me as well as his sister, and is trying to okay, everything's gonna be okay. You have excelled everything. So that's one chapter that's closing. And I think by closing that, there's this void, and you talk about polarity, and I think that something's trying to fill that void. And now that we are talking it out loud, I believe these two items from my past want to feel that, but I'm not going to give energy to it. I addressed them, and it's now the ball's in their court. If I hear from them, I hear from them, but I'm not dwelling on their mistakes. That's not my responsibility. That's their responsibility. And if they don't, and the way I see it, if you're sitting in a stadium or a movie theater and you don't like the view, change your seat.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Exactly.
Or get up and walk out.
That's right.
Okay,
so
we've got to wrap it up because we're just coming to an end.
My husband is going to be okay with all this.
everything it will be as it should, and you are your both your mindset as well as the event are as natural can be. I guess is the best way to put it. You're good. Things are good.
Yes, and
and
feel in last few words here. Instead of you doing very good, and I think you will be very successful because you're so aware. You know what you're doing. And when we are faced with things that we know we have to say no to, and there's a void, as you're talking about that, fill that with what you want for the future. Because those things sometimes that are popping up from our past, they can become a trap if we just go back there and we get into the drama again, right? So just move forward and just create everything brand new, whatever you want. Fill the void with what you want. Okay?
Not hard to do. Ladies, this great talk. It really helped me talk it out, and just hearing your side of things. It just
awesome.
Thanks, Spirit. I appreciate it.
Awesome.
Blessings.
Well, keep in touch. Let us know how things are going.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you. I will.
And
thank you, Lily.
Many blessings. We love to talk to you too. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, Sissy. I see. I don't want to run out the clock here, so
no.
I'm
talking fast. I promise. I have to talk very fast.
Go ahead and proceed.
Yeah. Okay. So everybody listening, and thank you so much for interacting with us today, calling in and chatting with us in the chat room and listening to our show. And on today's show, we have been talking about soul realignment, Akashic Records, what are they? So we went a little bit out of topic a few times, but that's interesting too, because we are living right now in a very special time, so to speak. And just know that every first Thursday of the month, we will talk about soul realignment and different topics related to soul realignment. And our next upcoming show here on Scrolls of the Soul Radio is next Thursday, May 14th, with Soul Sister Show, talking about the vibration of laughter and the positive benefits of it. So from talking about very serious things today and maybe things that feel heavy, next week we are going to enjoy laughter and the vibration of laughter together. So tune in or call us next week. And we take your calls, of course, for questions and mini readings live on air. We'll be on the same time as usual, 10 a.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. London, 7 p.m. Sweden, and 8 p.m. Greece. And you can always listen to replays of all shows anytime at scrollsofthesoul.com/past, scrollsofthesoul.com/past. And you can also go to search for Scrolls of the Soul Radio on YouTube, where you can listen to full episodes of past shows and also check out upcoming shows. And remember that you can always listen live and text chat with us during the shows at scrollsofthesoul.com/live. And if you'd like to connect with me, Anne, or Sue, you can find us at scrollsofthesoul.com/Sue or scrollsofthesoul.com/Anne. And if we didn't have a chance to take your call today, please call into our next show, and you can go to scrollsofthesoul.com/upcoming to find out more about upcoming shows. And we are back next Thursday, May 14th, with Soul Sister Show, talking about the vibration of laughter and the positive benefits to it. and your calls for questions and mini readings live on air. So, Sissy, do you have anything you want to tell the audience before we end the show?
Of course I do. Thank you, everyone, for calling in and entrusting us with your question. We are always honored by that and extremely grateful. And we love to hear back to kind of to see how things are going for you. And if, some of the statements that have been made in the past are actually coming to fruition. But ultimately, we thank you for trusting us. That being said, I'm just going to do a quick shout out to my mom. Angels watch over you all night long. Sissy?
Yes. And thank you, everybody, once again. And I say love, life, peace, and joy to all of you. See you next week. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.